Hello, everyone. I would like to welcome you to this year's maiden edition of our weekly program focused on African women's health. This is a program that is committed to promotion of African women's health at home and abroad. We share the global message of health for all and emphasize that African women must not be left behind in optimal health. My name is Dr. Olayide Ogunshiji of the School of Nursing and Midwifery, Western Sydney University, Sydney, Australia. I would like to start by thanking you for your continued support for this program and for the feedback that we received from you on how to improve on the program. And in response to this particular feedback, the program will be running during semesters. And this is our first semester back in my university for the year 2019. It's our first day back today for the autumn semester. Let's see how we go as we continue to be responsive to your feedback on this program. Interestingly, this maiden edition falls within the week of International Women's Day. Every 8th of March of the year, the whole world is committed to celebrating those great achievements of women in our society. And I just thought that we should bring some thoughts to you based on our recent research in a rural village in Africa. And I would like us to look at the topic, better empowerment, better the world. Or can also say, balanced empowerment, balance the world. Balanced empowerment, balance the world. Better empowerment, better the world. The case of Kuranko community of Kalian Chiefdom in Sierra Leone, West Africa. International Women's Day 2019 with the theme Better the Balance, Better the World aligns perfectly well with global and continental policy framework, particularly when we look at United Nations Agenda 2030 and Africa Union's Agenda 2063, with particular emphasis on gender equality and women empowerment. Sustainable Development Goal number 5, specifically for the Agenda 2030, seeks to achieve gender equality and empower all women and girls. Similarly, African Union's Agenda 2063 emphasizes the role of gender equality and women empowerment and look at this core issue as one of the strategies for boosting the continent's quality of life measures. In achieving this and other goals, the United Nations, in several components of their document, actually emphasize that no woman or girl will be left behind. They say that no one, regardless of where they are located or situated, will be left behind. Now, how all these laudable aspirations translate for Kuranko community of Kalian Chiefdom of Sierra Leone is the concern and yearning of myself and my co-researcher, Margaret Jabi, as we embarked on our project titled Understanding of Health, Well-being, and Women Empowerment for Young Women in a Rural Village of Africa. We use primary healthcare approach and we assess the women's health in that community using an assessment tool called Social Determinants of Health Assessment Circle. Margaret personally went to Africa in January 2019, for the community assessments and data collection for our project. Preliminary findings from our mixed method research revealed that Kuranko community has a population of 25,000 to 30,000 people, and they are situated in a rural and remote area that it is as far as 129 kilometers from the nearest metropolitan city. A guide child in this particular community that survives infant mortality is exposed to the detrimental health risk of female genital mutilation. And as a matter of fact, in this particular community, as at now in 2019, we have about 95% of girls and women that are at the risk of being circumcised. There is gross male preference and gender roles make young women in the community to be vulnerable to teenage pregnancy, early marriage, illiteracy, and then perpetuation of poverty chain. According to our community assessments, with a 20 kilograms bag of rice, a teenage girl is betrothed to marriage. Many of these young women are married into polygamous family systems, and as a result, there is a perpetuous dependence on their husband, many of whom are married to men that are old enough to be their grandfathers. In terms of health services in Kuranko community of Kalian Chiefdom in Sierra Leone, West Africa, there is only one medical doctor that goes to the community in a month. And in terms of the relevance of this information to women said there, what that means is if a medical doctor goes to the community on the first day of the month and he returns back at the end of the day, and unfortunately a woman has pregnancy-related complications or other issues that relate to women and girls' health on the second or on the third, there is no medical attention from a medical doctor that woman or girl can receive. And it will take as long as about 6 to 8 hours for an ambulance to arrive from the nearest metropolitan city. What this then suggests is that if a woman has pregnancy-related complication, it's either the woman dies or the child dies, or both the woman and the child dies. In that community, there is no registered nurse, and the community health center that births as many as 40 babies in a month is only run by an enrolled nurse. In terms of income, more than 96% of the women are not in paid employment. And we can say that their per capita income level is just an equivalent of Australian $30. $30 Australian dollar per month. And you may be wondering, what is the relevance of all this information that we are providing to the International Women's Health Special today? We are saying that as we celebrate International Women's Day 2019, the core messages of equality and women empowerment need to reach rural and remote areas like Kuranko community of Kalian Chiefdom in Sierra Leone and other similar rural areas where this message is most needed. Meanwhile, I would really like to congratulate all the women of the world for all the achievements, and I say Happy International Women's Day. And until next week when I bring you another topic, as we'll be looking at sexual health and sexual assault next week, I want to thank you for your time today. Thank you for being there. I look forward to seeing you next week. And once again, happy International Women's Day.